But I think most of us are curious on how you actually came to this position. I mean, we know you as one of the most steadfast and eloquent non-Jewish defenders of the Jewish people and the state of Israel. We know what you believe, but I think the deeper question for many of us is why. Can you walk us through the journey that led you to realize that this isn't just a Jewish issue, but rather one that impacts all of Western civilization?
I can, reluctantly, I have to say, because like most people from England, I don't like talking about myself and find it vaguely embarrassing, like taking your clothes off in public, you know. But, I mean, I have been asked that, or versions of that question quite a lot in recent years. And I suppose I'd just say, first of all, there's something sad about the need to ask the question. By which I mean, when Jewish friends and Israeli friends and others say, but I don't understand, like, how come you're on our side? I say, who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be? That's, and I think that's a much healthier way to think of it. You know, like, why would you like us? Is the sort of undertone of it. I've never found it difficult. I mean, in a fight between a democracy and a death cult, between a society that loves life and a society that worships death, I don't find it hard to choose. And you know, of course, it's clear that a lot of people in our time do. I think that's sometimes because they're profoundly wicked people, and often because they're profoundly ill-educated, which we could probably come to. Literally, just one of the things I've particularly realized in recent years is a lot of people who are supportive of Israel think that we can come up with the perfect argument that, as it were, will make the other side understand our position, you know. And I meet a lot of brilliant, you know, people in the very fortunate life I have, and very often they'll say, there's this document that shows this, and in 1964, and what the other side don't realize is that in 1973, and I say, you know, most of the other side don't know what you're talking about. They don't know what you're talking about. You can mention the Oslo process, they don't know where Oslo is. They've never heard of it. What's this process he talks about? They've got their very strange thing. All I would say about myself is, I've never found it difficult. I was brought up by good parents, very fortunate, and they taught me right from wrong. And I grew up in a, you know, Anglican Christian household, and I suppose I found an intellectual way to the positions that I hold, and, you know, I can explain some of that, but in a way, it doesn't quite explain it, because sometimes an issue can be of the brain, and that's it. But also sometimes an issue becomes an issue of the heart. And for me, for many years, the cause of the Israeli nation and also the Jewish people has been one that has been close to my heart. And, you know, I mentioned to somebody earlier, but when I first went to Israel, some quarter of a century or so ago now, you know, I'd be asked by those charming people in El Al's security checkpoints, why would you laugh at that? I would be asked by those charmers, you know, why you come to Israel? Why you you know anyone here? You're Jewish? No, not Jewish. You have friends in Israel? By the way, I've got to tell you one of my favorite ones I mentioned earlier. I once opened a skateboarding park for the JNF in the town of Sderot about 15 years ago. Some of you will know. And I have no expertise in the opening of skateboarding parks. I don't know why it fell to me, but it was my honor, and we spent a wonderful day with the families there. And I remember they gave me one of these what they called rockets into roses. You probably all know about this by now. But it was one of the first ones of this. It was a large thing that had my name on the base, and it's a Katusha rocket that had been fashioned into a rose like this. I get to El Al security at the end of my trip. I say this was not a common gift at the time. I get there, they say, anyone give you anything while you're in Israel? I say, where is this? Every single El Al security person ended up gathering around the bag. What is this? They scanned it, they swabbed it, and eventually this big guy, he goes, okay, Douglas, apart from Katusha rocket, anyone give you anything in Israel? But I mention this only to say that by now, traveling there for many years and spending much of the last 2 years there, whenever I get to El Al security, they say, do you have family in Israel? I say, tons of them.